Okay, hi, welcome or welcome back. We're gonna do another vlog. Again, practice. We're practicing. What do I have going on this week? Hopefully, not as much as I've had a crazy 2 weeks in a not good way. I was rovering at somebody's house and I had to pay $300 for a locksmith, and I was doing like multiple house sitting moments in a row, and it all kind of sucked. But we're back now, and I'm home all week. I don't have another job for the rest of the month. It's March 2nd. Oh, so it's going to be a really big reset week, which is going to be fun to document. I would normally have done everything yesterday, but I was still at this person's apartment watching their dogs, so I didn't get to it. So we're going to get to kind of everything this week. I've done a few things that like needed to be done. All of my meetings are on my calendar, so you missed that. Ugh, I know, bummer. Called Progressive. Ugh, bummer. Got my car insurance switched to Illinois. And so all of that is done. But and the outline of my bullet journal is done, but not the coloring and not the fun part. So we get to see all of that. And then what else is this week? What else will I be doing? Every once in a while, I will do, I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but I don't know her name. It's called Babe Takes the Weekly Budget or something like that. That does not sound right. Babe's Weekly Budget takes the weekly shop. What? Whatever. I'll link a video down below. She does these like week-long vegetarian meals. They're pretty cheap and you can freeze a lot of them. So I think I'm going to do that this week because it's nice to have like a bunch of stuff in your freezer that you can thaw every once in a while and have like backups as meals. I always have like at least three Trader Joe's things in my freezer, and then I like to have some of the shit that she makes because it's healthy and homemade. Um so I'm going to do that this week. So I'm going to be actually I don't always make it vegetarian. Sometimes I do add meat if I think like I want it in there. Or her like protein is either something I don't like or avocado, which I'm allergic to, then I will add meat. Anyway, so that'll be fun. I'll be doing a lot of cooking later this week and fridge clean out, bullet journal, March TBR. That'll be done this week. I can also do a little February wrap up, but there's not much to say, especially because two of the three books I read are going to be gun books, so they'll be in the other video, and then some work reset stuff, but I probably won't share that. I'm thinking cleaning, things like that. So yeah, I'm going to a birthday party later this week. I think I'm going to go to trivia. I think that's it. So the books that I'm reading this week are Scythe by Neil Schusterman. Um, this was our like my book club's pick of the month, and our book club is next Tuesday. So I have a little over a week to finish this. And frankly, I was craving some like fantasy moment, so I'm really excited that we get to read this because I feel like I've been reading like either nonfiction or kind of like heavier fiction. That's not even true. I think I've just been craving something a little like whimsical in a way, even though I do know that this is about killing people. I did read, I started it last night and I read a little bit this morning. I'm on page 48. So I do know that this isn't maybe whimsical, but it's still YA. And I feel like all YA is inherently a little whimsical when you're an adult. So I'll be reading this, and then I'm going to be finishing this week One Nation Under Guns by Dominic Erdozane. I have 4 chapters left. I'm on page 116 out of 190-ish, somewhere around there. So I don't have a whole lot left. Um, I would have read more yesterday, but I wanted to update before I forgot everything. Anyway, I'm going to be finishing this week. I probably won't update much other than how far I've gotten, but that will be read. And I think that's about it. Maybe if I finish Scythe early, I'll start something else, which I'm wanting to do. I haven't been reading as much as I have wanted January and February. I'm in the middle of a bunch of books, which I think is kind of how I left off my last vlog that I did. I'm still in the middle of The Dutch House. I'm still in the middle of The Bee Sting. I'm hesitating whether I should finish them or not. I kind of feel like it's a sign that I haven't finished them, that maybe I unconscious like unconsciously don't want to. um So maybe if I finish Scythe, I'll finish the Dutch house, but I'm debating it. So maybe I'll pick up something new. I was like really excited to pick up something new last night rather than finish the Dutch house or the bee sting. So I think that's telling. It's not that I'm not liking them, it's just that I feel like I've been reading them for so long that I don't want to read them anymore. But then there's nothing wrong with them. I just like want to do something new. Spring to me is so youthful, new, doing growing new things. That's why I'm really excited for this reset week because like I feel like this is like more new year-ish than January. So I'm like, what? Like there's like it's gonna be a new like quarter season reset. There's gonna be a whole lot of newness going on. So I'm really excited for that and like what my plans will be. I haven't even really thought it through, but I will. But then anyway, flip it. Winter is like aged. It's old. It's cozy. It's comfortable. It's working with what you've got type of deal. For me, each season has an age. Spring, you're like very childlike. Winter, you're old, you're elderly. So maybe like I return back to things that I've regretted. In my head, that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense in your head, then leave it alone. I don't know. That's kind of how I view the seasons anyway. And so maybe I'll get back to those in December. I'm really excited. I'm excited for spring. If you can see maybe in the background a little bit, I have two windows above my kitchen. They're kind of like the block glass, like the really thick ones that you can't really see through, but they let light in. And November through February, like the third week of February, they the sun was too low to let light in, but now the sun is high enough that it lets light in almost day all day. So my apartment's getting really bright. I'm like really excited for it. It's still obviously fucking freezing outside, but that's beside the matter because mentally I'm in spring. It doesn't matter what's going on around me because mentally I'm there. So yeah, that's gonna be this week. Yay! That's it. I'm gonna work for about an hour. I don't have a watch on. And get something done, and then I think I can switch over to like more personal reset stuff. So I'll be doing that, but I need an hour to work. So see you after that. Sorry, I just literally reached a flow state doing my bullet journal and some planning. I only kind of wrote down and planned out what I wanted to do this spring. Okay. So I did find this woman on, actually, there were a few Substack resources that I used. Okay, so I'll have to link who I used below because I can't remember. One of them was like kind of giving trad wife, but I liked her system. She just mentioned drinking raw milk, which is really concerning to me, but it's whatever. She like spaced out her seasonal resets in this way. First, she did setting the tone, the questions that she asked herself. This was supposed to be journaling, but my notebook has like 2 pages left, and I also use it for work, and I don't have any others, and so I wanted to save my remaining pages. I ordered some more, but anyway, so I typed it all out. But the first question was, what do I want my days to look like? What's different about them in this season? What do I want to learn more about? What do I want to prioritize more? What are things I want to bake or cook this season? What do I want to let go of? What are my seasonal goals? Ins for spring, outs for spring. And then she kind of like, how are you going to switch up your morning and evening rituals or routines? Seasonal projects, what I'm leaving behind in the previous season, and then weekend experiences. So, just some things that I wrote down and included. I want my days to feel really fresh. I want to bask in the sunshine. I want to open up the windows. I want to, just let my life breathe a little bit. I want to start moving again. I haven't really been exercising throughout the Chicago winter. I'm not a member at a gym, so I'd have to do everything outside or in my apartment. And I think just taking it slowly, starting with some slow, easy, short runs, yoga, maybe some like move with Nicole videos, things like that, like not that serious. Plus, I'm walking a lot because I walk dogs basically for half of my life. Maybe some dogless walks to make it more about me. I want to learn, I kind of already know how to crochet, but I want to get back into it. I have a bunch of woobles that I haven't done. I want to do at least one in the month of March, maybe two in during spring. And then also on Pinterest a few weeks ago, I saw this person crochet like these cord holders that looked like little plant sprouts. I would love to learn how to do that because it doesn't look that hard. And damn, I need something to organize my cords. So just buying like a skin, a roll, whatever the fuck they're called, of like cheap acrylic yarn. It doesn't need to be like something that I'm going to like live in. So, and it like, low investment hobby creation type of deal. I would love to learn how to do that. I'm looking at my guitar right now. I'm doing my nails tonight and I'm gonna chop them all off because I broke a few and they just like I let them grow out, but then when they get really long, and it feels weird to type and blah 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 and like the shaping is starting to get weird and I don't like it. I just cut them off and start over. So maybe this week because I'll have short nails, I might pick up my guitar again, which I haven't really done since high school, and see if I can do anything with it. What do I want to let go of? Stress, which is like so duh. Wish I could do that, but I'm just gonna keep manifesting it until it happens. And then unintentional downtime, like I don't want to like scroll, watch shows, or engage with media that isn't thought provoking, at least. And I'm about to tell you some media wrecks that whatever. And so I don't know. The thing is like my guilty pleasure is crime procedurals, which is like the least thought provoking TV show you could probably ever watch in your life, because they're predictable and every episode is the same and it evokes no feelings, which is kind of like why I watch them. But I want to like know what's going on in the cultural lexicon. Like I want to know. It's just hard for me. I do read, obviously, but like that it kind of ends there. I want to go to more movies. I just signed up for AMC Stubs, and so I get half off on Tuesday, Wednesday now. Get on that if you're not with it. And so, what comes out this month? Forbidden Fruits comes out this month. I want to see that. I want to see Reminders of Him. Don't judge me. I don't know. Something about the movie looks 10 times better than the book. It is one of two Colleen Hoover books that I've read, and I want to see it. What else comes out this month? I wrote it all down. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so what are my seasonal goals? Regular yoga practice. I wrote down that I want to get curtains because that is true. I want to get curtains. I want to make bad art. I just want to like dedicate some time to creating something again. I haven't really like made art since college and I miss it. I miss like taking time and listening to a podcast or listening to music and just kind of like doing whatever the fuck I want. And a lot of it was in my bullet journal. And I kind of miss the way that my old bullet journals throughout college were set up, especially like towards like my junior and senior year of college. So I would love to do that. I want to explore a new neighborhood in Chicago, put my winter clothing away, like all my sweaters, which means that I need to get under the bed storage. I want to bring flowers indoors, so I'm going to buy daffodils. I looked it up and I think they're pretty cheap at Trader Joe's, maybe some tulips. I love tulips. I want to sit in a park. I want to start running again. I want to mend any clothing that has like holes or missing buttons or anything like that. And then I have a giant pile of hand wash items behind me that I'm just going to throw in the bathtub and like stomp on and clean that way, because it's a lot of sweaters and they all need to be cleaned. I want to start a small indoor plant project, maybe start growing some basil, or another thing that could fit in that category is I have a gnat problem at the moment. I don't know where the fuck they came from because I had them when I first moved in because my dad has them, and whenever I ask him to watch my plants, I end up getting them. And then usually not watering my plants works, so I didn't water them for a while and they kind of went away and now they're back. Where the hell did they come from? Literally couldn't tell you because they haven't been anywhere. I might just not water them for a really long time until like they're starting to look sad. The only issue is I have a shamrock that needs to be watered like once a week. I don't know. Maybe I'll sneak in a spider or something, like a little small spider. Those usually help. Okay, so maybe that's my indoor plant project. If not, I want to grow some basil. I want to have an outdoor frolic day when it's warm outside where I just stay out all day. Maybe I day drink. I love day drinking. Rituals I like didn't really change other than maybe I want to have tea with lemon in the morning rather than coffee first thing and then kind of have coffee. I get up really early. I start work at 7:30, so maybe coffee at like 9:30, a few hours after I've started working. I want to have a lot of desserts with fruit this season and a lot of homemade meals with in-season veggies. And then weekend experiences, I have start going to the farmers market. I want to go see cherry blossom. So I looked up a few places in Chicago that have them. And then also, while I was doing that, I saw that there's the Jewels of Spring Flower Show at Lincoln Park Conservatory, and it's free. So I would like to go there. I want to break out the picnic blanket. And then one of my friends wants to go to a comedy show. So I wrote that down because I'm going to join her. So that's going to be a weekend experience. Those are kind of like my spring goals. Some of them will obviously bleed into March. And then, oh, I do want to make like a spring dessert recipe. The ones I wrote down were that I'm leaning towards were carrot muffins and then lemon lavender cookies. Maybe like lemon white chocolate chip. I love white chocolate chips. So something like that. I haven't baked in a while and I love making cookies specifically. So I would like to spend time doing that like one Saturday, Sunday-ish morning. And then media I wrote down. This is all pretty much happening in March, but some things that were catching my eye. This I got from another girl that did a like spring March reset on Substack. And she wrote down a bunch of things that looked interesting to her. I have Young Sherlock, which comes out on the 4th, which is so it'll be out when this uh video comes out. And it has that guy from After in it. And you know what? Like, see, I love crime procedurals. And so even if it's more of like a drama one, I'm intrigued because we're still like figuring things out. Vladimir, which is a book that I have not read, and usually I wouldn't watch it, but it's starring Rachel Weisz, and something about that. I just like kind of want to watch it. I heard that the book wasn't that good when it first came out, and then now there's a show that looks good. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm okay with spoilers, so maybe I'll start watching it and then I'll end up reading it. Whatever. Reminders of Him, Do Not Judge Me, Forbidden Fruits, Project Hail Mary, which I just read in December. I would like to go see that. Hoppers, which is a Disney movie, but don't judge me. And then I wrote down just some shows that I've like kind of seen that maybe I'll watch again with the cultural lexicon of it all. Outlander, I have seen a few seasons of, but I'm thinking maybe I just split up my time. Like I watch one season of this, and then I watch one season of this, and then I watch one season of this, so I don't get fucking bored. Because that's where I have issues. So Outlander, Yellow Jackets, which I'm actually watching the first season of right now. I think I'm on episode 6. I can only handle an episode or two at a time. That show freaks me out. White Lotus, which I've never seen, but everybody talks about. The Burbs, which is that new show I think with Kiki Palmer. Well, do I like Kiki Palmer? I don't know. She's funny though. She's a little weird, but she's funny. Murdoch Mysteries is having a new season come out, and again, people love this, and it's my cup of tea. So maybe just watching the first season of that. The TikTok Killer. I've been kind of craving like a like a crime docu-series, so maybe I'll tune in to that. And then some other movies that I haven't seen or have seen and are very springtime-ish, so this is kind of less March, more spring. The Secret Garden, Alice in Wonderland, either of them. Marie Antoinette, The Spiderwick Chronicles, and Tangled, which I love that movie and I feel like I need to watch it this season. And then two last shows, sorry, kind of a weird order. Two last shows that I wrote down. Rooster, which is starring Steve Carell. I think it's on HBO. I don't really know what it's about, but I remember when I read what it was about that I liked it. And then Scarpetta, which is on Prime and it has Nicole Kidman in it. And I don't know what that one's about either, but I wrote it down. So it must have interested me at some point. And then I did do both a book of the month order and an aardvark order this month, which I don't normally do, but Book of the month I got Kin by the lady that wrote American Marriage, something like that. I'm really excited for that one. That's the only reason I did a book of the month order this month. Well, and also this month you got your free like lolly winner, and so I chose Names because it was literally the only book on the list that I don't already own. So, I mean, a free book is a free book. I got it. Those were the two that I got from there. And then from Aardvark, did I place my order with Aardvark? There were two that were really catching my eye. Well, one was Whitby, which I think that I put in on hold at my library, so I don't think that I got that one. And then the other one was like, oh, no, there were a few. There was one that was like the Winter Dragon or the Red Winter or something like that, and it was about like something. Literally not helpful at all. My app is on my phone, so I can't like check everything. Okay, I did not order from Aardvark. I have not ordered from them yet. There was another one that was very like dark academia, and I was like, should I get that one? There is a part of me that buys these books based on their cover because I'm kind of like, what do I want on my shelf? Like, obviously, it's like, what do I want to read? But then if I think that the cover's ugly, like, I will just rent it from the library and I can still read it that way. But I'm like, what do I want to read and also would look pretty in my room? And then if I hate it, I put it in a little free library and it's fine. But if I don't hate it, then it can stay and I have a pretty spine. So, anyway, I know it's kind of stupid, but that's how I pick my books because it's kind of like, why do I even have these if I can just go to the library? But I do like having a book collection. So, it's just the consumption girl in me. I think that's my only update for now. That's kind of like my spring reset vibes that I have going on and ideas that I have going on. So, I think tomorrow I'm gonna do like a February recap mentally. I probably won't. Maybe I'll say something. And then Wednesday, I might do my March reset, which will include my March TBR. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. That sounds like a good plan. I like that idea. Okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna cook dinner and then probably watch an episode of Yellow Jackets and then. Oh, I have to do my nails. What color am I gonna pick? Yeah, I'm gonna eat dinner now, so I have time to do my nails because it takes fucking forever. Gloomy out today. What is today? It's Wednesday afternoon. I have been working all day. It's lunchtime. You can probably see my lunch cooling behind me. I've been reading Scythe. I'm on page. What page am I on? Thank you. I'm on page 111. So I'm a little over 100 pages in. How many pages are there total? 435-ish. So I'm about a fourth of the way in. I'm enjoying it. It's just that I can tell that the length, I can tell that there's a like, I want to say what feels like the main plot, but it's not included in the synopsis, is kind of starting to form, or maybe a subplot, if you will. And I kind of wish we would just get there. I kind of wish that we would just start beefing with other people because right now, you're following. Have I even said what this is about? My Habit. This is about Citra and Rowan, who are chosen to be apprentices, whatever, to a scythe, which basically, like, we're at a point in this world where everything is beautiful. We live in a utopia. People don't even die. And so you have to have people that kill other people because otherwise your population is going to go crazy. So that's what the sites do. I feel like with other kind of YA dystopian novels, you get kind of this view, even in something like Fourth Wing, you the first book you're kind of setting up the world and you're setting up the dynamics that people have with like maybe the other that you're creating, and in Fourth Wing that may be like the Dragon Riders. I don't even remember what they're called, or in Divergent, the Divergence like faction. In the Hunger Games, the whole games themselves, and then you kind of get into the conflict, and like whether that's in the Hunger Games you start rebelling against the government or whatever. But I feel like in this book we aren't getting at right now too much insight into like their apprenticeship, you get like some things, but I kind of wish that like there was more detail there. I feel like in all of those other books, you kind of have this like detailed world building aspect, and I feel like it's maybe lacking a bit in this book. I just feel like you kind of follow them and they're sad that they can't see their family and they feel weird interacting with each other, and I don't know. It's a lot of interpersonal relationship conflict rather than world building stuff to me. I don't think there's a good balance there, but maybe I'm fucking crazy. Yeah, I feel like we don't know much about the guy that's the scythe that is having them be apprentice, whatever. And so therefore you don't really know too much about the whole scythedom yet. Maybe we'll get there, but I kind of wish that we just like were getting more glimpses and a little bit more hints into that world than I think that we currently are. So that's where I am with that. And then I also read a smidge last night of One Nation Under Guns, which I'm not going to really talk about. But I only have like 3 chapters left, which is kind of exciting. And yeah, that's my update. I have a few more things to do for work. And then today we go to Trader Joe's. I want to get a lot of my reset done. I feel lost I feel lost when I don't do my monthly resets. I feel aimless, and that's what I feel like right now. I want to put together my March TBR, although I don't think I'm going to get to it until Friday, which is kind of a bummer. Last night when I got back from the dog place that I sit for, whatever, I was so tired. And you remember when I said I wanted to engage with media intentionally? Well, I did just watch CSI New York. So, my bad. But I'm hoping to get more of my personal reset done because I really want to, because I just feel lost, even though I never complete everything on it anyway. But that's fine as long as you have something that you're working towards. As long as you're making a plan, I think that that's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have my lunch and then we're gonna move on. Trivia tonight also fun. I probably won't capture much of that, but maybe I will. Talk to you later. I don't know if you can see the massive amount of shit that I just got at the grocery store, but I just got a lot of shit at the grocery store. I went to Whole Foods and shopped there, not for the first time ever, but like did my real grocery shopping there for the first time. I'm never fucking going back. I'm sticking to Mariano's, Kroger. I'm going back to my roots because why did I spend so much money and I could not find anything that I wanted, that I actually wanted? Like, I'm thinking in my head, okay, I want broccolini. Like, I'm like, okay, I want broccolini. Whole Foods is kind of fancy. Surely they'll have it. Why could I not find it anywhere? And then, like, okay, one of the recipes I'm making calls for literally like garlic bread. Just like put it on some garlic bread. It's like, whatever. I know that's like, why would that be in a recipe? Okay, and gnocchi. Couldn't find garlic bread? Garlic bread? That feels like the most basic thing ever. Oh my god, sorry, you're so fucking skinny that you can't have garlic bread. Damn. And then the gnocchi that I found, everything was $11. $11 for some rolled potato? Like, it's not that complicated. I don't want to make it myself, but it's not that complicated. And then I was like, eventually I got to a point where I was like, fuck this, I'm going to Mariano's. And guess how much the fucking gnocchi was there? $2. All of these cans, this was 130. I know damn well this is 50 cents at Kroger. Why? And I had to get 3 of them. I'm trying not to be too mad about it because I'll be able to freeze a lot of stuff and it'll last me for a very long time. But like, fuck, bro. That was a lot of money. That was a lot of money. These strawberries, like $5. I mean, strawberries are kind of expensive right now because they're not in season. Nothing's in season. There's no fruit that's in season. They don't even look that good. I will say they smell really good though. But some of them are like, and I checked. I promise I checked. If you're looking and you're like, you got dumb stuff, like, why'd you get, I don't think you can see it, buttermilk. Did you guys know? Okay. Life hack, because one of the recipes, okay, it's all from a British girl, which I don't think is very helpful because she had a lot of stuff that, like, we don't. And one of them was creme fraiche, which like we have creme fraiche, don't get me wrong. It's just hella expensive to the point where everybody was like, I just use sour cream. And I was like, do I want to use sour cream? But apparently if you get a cultured buttermilk, which is also why I wanted to go to Whole Foods, because I was like, if anybody has a cultured buttermilk, it's gonna be Whole Foods. And they did. So thank God. You need a cultured buttermilk for a homemade creme fraiche and then heavy cream. And I think you do mostly heavy cream, a tablespoon or two of the buttermilk, and then you just let it sit on your countertop for 12 hours. And then after it's like fermented enough that it becomes a creme fraiche. So I was thinking, why not? But I'm only gonna use a tablespoon or so of this, so now I gotta figure out what to use this fucking buttermilk for. It's only 2 cups. Anyway, I was really excited when I looked that up because I was like, buttermilk and heavy cream, way cheaper than a $10 tub of creme fraiche, and there's only one brand. Like, what if it's not even good? Let's see how much. The buttermilk was $4, and the heavy cream, oh my god, was 4.50. But I can make it multiple times. And I went to Whole Foods. Like, don't get this shit at Whole Foods. Go elsewhere. The buttermilk's good till May. So I can make 2 months worth of creme fraiche and use it in place of sour cream. I think that's a pretty good deal. Anyway, I'm gonna put these groceries away. I'll show it to you. Then tonight, it's 5:30 now. I had a long day. I was late to my dog sitting. It's the whole thing. I'm meeting my neighbor at 6:30 to meet her cat because I'm gonna feed her cat while she's out of town. So I'm doing that, and then I'm gonna come back and make dinner. I'm making a chili tonight. Maybe I'll just start making the chili now and let it simmer when I'm meeting her and just hope and pray that, I mean, I'll be downstairs. What's the difference in living in a townhome and cooking on the first floor and going up to the third to change your outfit? Rich people do it all the time. Surely I can do it. Okay. I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I'm gonna put all this away and then I'm gonna start cooking. Okay, so I am making breakfast behind me. I'm letting my bread cool down. It is Friday morning, which I feel like is usually a morning where I'm like wrapping stuff up from the week. So I'm going to do that both personally and professionally. And I am going to actually spend the morning wrapping up my reset because again, I'm just not feeling very organized. I did plan out, I think, some like not hobbies, what are they called? Habits that I would like to focus on this month. I like to change my habits up every month, especially because last month I was like doing pretty well with everything. And then I was like, okay, there's no need to track this. Like it's clearly implemented into my routine. And if I didn't do it every day, I was doing it like a majority of the month. And so I switched it up a little bit. And then just some like overall goals for the month I put together. Although looking back at it, I'm like, I'm not going to have time to do that. But whatever, it's fine. It can just be another goal next month. So I'll share those with you, but I want to finish my bullet journal and I want to finish putting it all together and organizing my Notion. And because even with work, like my Notion and my like task sheets for work are a little kind of all over the place right now. So yeah, I'm gonna spend the morning like getting all of that together, and then later today I have some social posts to write for my work. So I'll probably do that on the couch, and that'll be my day. And then tonight I'm going to a birthday dinner, so probably won't be doing much reading or anything else vlog related tonight. But then tomorrow and Sunday I have completely free, and I'm trying to save money, so I'm not going to go out on Saturday. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, and today I'm going to put together my March TBR. I'm really excited, even though I kind of think I already know what it is, but I am excited for that. And then tomorrow and Sunday I'll probably be doing a lot of reading. Sunday I got to clean my apartment. Tomorrow I might be a little hungover, but I just went grocery shopping. I have all this food, so it'll be totally fine. I'm done with my reset and everything for the most part. You're going to go through my TBR with me. If my March goals, which I don't know if I have shared them already, but hold on. I know my mic is just like exploding right now. I did make a cute little like wrap up spread with some pictures with me and my friends. I thought that was fun. If you're curious, my favorite music from the past month, top song was Nettles by Ethel Cain, which it has been for a while. Second song was Yeti by Paris Paloma. Couldn't even tell you how it goes. It just comes on the playlist. I don't even know. I don't know anything about it. Third is So Easy to Fall in Love by Olivia Dean. Number 4 is Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus by Taylor Swift, of course. 5 is A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. 6 is Mariella by Khruangbin. 7 is You All Over Me by Taylor Swift. 8 is True Believer by Hayley Williams. 9 is Guilty as Sin by Taylor Swift, duh. And then 10 is Outrun This Feeling by Elle Coves. Kind of a interesting mix this month. Of course, Guilty as Sin and Nettles are there. They're pretty much there every single month. But yeah, what did I do this month? Some favorites of mine was Loving Oatmeal. Couldn't stop fucking eating it. I feel like I don't want to give it up, but it's getting warmer outside and it's like such like a hearty, cozy meal that I need to move on. So I had toast this morning, hummus with an egg, and was that lightning or was that my lights? Or was that me blinking? I don't hear thunder. It's absolutely pissing right now. It's fucking pouring outside. Another thing I love is my haircut. I got so much hair cut off and I feel so light and fresh. Thick moisturizer. It was cold as fuck in February. Humidifiers, same thing there. And then soft music. Little love letters, things like that. Just like soft little itty bits. Been loving that. Reading this month, I finished The Foxwife. Or I guess February last month, I finished The Foxwife by Yangshi Chu, Madison's Militia by Carl Bogus, and then The Lottery and Other Stories by Shirley Jackson. I also read a little bit of The Bee Sting and The Dutch House, but I did not finish them. They were DNFs. I watched CSI New York, Wuthering Heights, and a little bit of Yellow Jackets. So that was kind of all the media I consumed this past month. I did make this, like, I copied this from somebody, so I'll try to find their Instagram and link it, but this, like, downtime spread where she listed everything that she did in her downtime in a season. She included places, music, books, shows, recipes, and movies. No. Instead of recipes, she did games. I changed that this morning because if I do play my Switch, I'm only going to play Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley. There's like 5 games that I rotate through. I'm not that serious about it, so it was just stupid to write that down. Changed it to recipes because I want to know what I made. Because a lot of times I will make something and then never make it again. People are like, "What's your specialty?" Like a fucking grilled cheese. I only make one thing and that's it. Like I make it once and never again, which is fine. Like nothing's ever bad. I mean, I make a pot roast every year. I try to make chili every year, like in the winter, like hearty things like that. But other than that, I'm not really fucking with repeat recipes. But I don't know why. I just never think to return to them. I just am like, what am I craving? And then I look it up and whatever. In terms of March goals, I'm going to skip over finance. Career, some vague ones that I have are to plan the next day, the afternoon before, so that I go into the day ready because I feel like when I start off my day planning that I just like kind of get lost in an organizational world and I don't really want to actually work. I just want to organize things. That's not helpful. But if I wake up and I'm like, I have to get this done right now, like first thing in the morning, then I tend to do it. Since it's getting warmer outside, daily movement, especially outside, like I want to run 15 miles total all month. That is so easy to do. I haven't run in like 3 months and I need to get back into it. I also want to do yoga a couple times a week or like at least stretching, something to like kind of loosen up the body. And that's pretty much it, just those 2 things. I think yoga would be better than just plain old stretching because there's a little bit of strength involved, so I'm getting that taken care of. I need curtains so you guys don't know where I live. And then that's my home goal. Personal goals include lowering my screen time average. I feel like last month my goal was under 5 hours and I hit that a lot. And so now I want to do 4 hours, which I did not do a lot, but I did sometimes. So I think it's possible. I want to have a few movie nights. I want to hang out at the library. I want to buy some hyacinths. Trader Joe sells them. I want to make some lemon lavender cookies, something springy. I also wrote down carrot muffins. I think I already shared that. So that I want to do a good spring clean and I want to get garden clogs. I want to read 4 to 5 books, which when we do my TBR, you're going to be like, what? But I want to read also for an hour at least every day, mostly every day. I want to finish a crochet project because I haven't crocheted in a very long time, and I want to make a bad watercolor painting. I haven't watercolored since like college. I have a little bit in my bullet journal, but like I want to sit down and I want to get out my old sketchbook, my old watercolor sketchbook, and I want to make something. And I don't want any pressure to be on it. It can be bad, but I want to do something. There's this girl I follow on Substack that was doing a like personal curriculum last month that had to do with like vampires and Valentines and blah 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 and like creepy things, and love and the overlapping. But she read something specifically, and then she like one of her curriculum prompts was to do something related to the bog, and so I think if I give myself just like a vague outline overview, I can sit down and make a watercolor painting. And so mine is going to be the bog. I want to make a watercolor painting of my idea of the bog. And it might be awful. It probably will be awful because I'm not very good at drawing things from memory. I'm more of a like still life type of girl, but I want to do it. I mean like whatever, nobody else can has to see it besides me. So might as well bust out those watercolors and do it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I also copied that same woman that did the downtime thing. She had this like habit tracker that was sorted into 3 different categories. One was self-care and personal goals and hobbies, like where are you spending your time hobby wise, and then creative content. And she was like, I just like to see where I'm spending my time each month. And so my daily hobbies, or sorry, my daily habits that I have are movement, um, working an AM shifted schedule, meaning like getting a lot of the bulk of my work done in the earliest hours of the morning and then kind of chiller stuff in the afternoon. I feel like I work best doing that. So sticking to that schedule, journaling every day, amazing for the mind, planning the next day, like I just said, and then screen time under 4 hours. My hobbies that I have listed are reading for 1 hour, bullet journaling, crocheting, playing on my Switch, and watercoloring. And then content stuff, I have edit, film, short form, and graphics. Like what am I doing for all of those? Short form, I think, could be filming or editing because editing and filming does not take very long for me that I've noticed so far. I don't really post a lot of it. I film a lot of it and then I'm like I hate this and I delete it, but I'm gonna try. I don't know. I don't know if it's really my thing, but you'll never know if you don't work towards it. So those are kind of my goals for March and my habits that I have lined up. Now to find a TBR. I kind of have like an insane. Okay, so every month I try to fit my reading based on like what that month is dedicated to. For example, last month was Black History Month. Did I read any books by Black authors? No. But I try to. It's in my mind. I did read Madison's Militia, which I did think was a good history knowledge about Black history. That I don't know if that makes any sense. It was good to know surrounding Black history, even though it was coming from a white man and it wasn't really about Black history. It's like interesting to know it was related. March is Women's History Month, so I have a few books related to women on here. Okay, so yeah, I have these books by women that I would like to read, but I also have a random number generator up, and I think I'm just going to pick one of these because, frankly, I read a lot of women in general anyway. These are just by women, about women. The rest of these books, there's a lot of womanness going on. So I was going to do 2, but I think that will be covered maybe in some of the other categories, unless that's not what the world had in mind. But the books that I have in my women category are My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. If you don't know, this is a book about 2 girls who are growing up in Naples together, and it's just about their friendship. It's a part of a quartet, so there's 4 of them. I think it follows them throughout their lives. I'm a little hesitant to want to read this one just because I don't know if I'm going to be reading it like the rest of the year. And I heard that these are best to read all at once. Maybe I will, but this is probably at the bottom of my wish list if I got that one. And then I have The Girls by Emma Cline, which follows a teenage girl named Evie, and she is drawn to these older teenagers. One of them's name is Suzanne, and I think they become a part of like a Charlie Manson-esque cult, and it seems to be about Evie and Suzanne's relationship with each other and within the cult. So that's on my list. Did I say this was by Emma Cline? I mean, you can read that. So there's that one. Then I have Hot Girls with Balls by Benedict Nguyen. I watched a video on how to pronounce this last name, and I know I can't do it. Nguyen. I'm gonna kill myself. Nguyen. I'm just gonna say that, and I apologize for that. This is about two trans women actually who were on a volleyball team, and I think they like put something live on an Instagram type of deal, and like people want to watch them, and it's all very interesting. I think that's what this is about. Oh, they selflessly broadcast their romance to fans on their weekly Instagraph live show. So it's about two trans women that are in a relationship, and they're also on the men's pro indoor volleyball league. It seems very messy. It feels very like tea. So that's on my list. And then finally, I have this historical fiction, uh, Bronze Drum by Fong, again with this last name, Nguyen. Nguyen. I apologize again. A novel of sisters in war. This is about some sisters in Vietnam who I think the government kind of collapses and then they like, it says, with no men to save them against the Han's encroaching regime, they rise and unite the women of Vietnam into a powerful army. Okay. I think this one's at the top of my list. Probably this one or The Girls. Or Hot Girls with Balls. I would take any of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to line them up like this. And from my view, number 1 is My Brilliant Friend. Number 2 is The Girls. Number 3 is Hot Girls with Balls. And number 4 is Bronze Drum. And then I'm just going to see what it picks. It picked The Girls. Okay, so this one's being added to my TBR. Sorry, ladies, maybe another month. Okay, so then next, I want to read something like slightly whimsical, magical. So I have a few books, but I think one of them isn't even. I'm thinking like magical realism, but not magical realism. One of them, like, they're very much fantasy, but I think they're like softer versions of it. Actually, I think two of them might just be realistic. I don't know. I'll tell you about them. The first one is The Smeller. Oh, so stupid. The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong or Long. This is about this lady on the cover who tells small fortunes, and I think they come true. She's like magical in that way, and then she gets invited on a quest with some other people and a magical cat. This one sounds very fun. I think this might be the one that's at the top of my list, even though when I show you the last one, you're going to be like, why not that one? I don't know, because that one just seems fun. The next is The Wishing Game, which I've heard awful things about, but I bought it, so I want to read it because I hate wasting money. But this is about a girl who is obsessed with a book series, and then she gets invited to like compete in this competition to get the last book, and it's at this mansion, and you get money or something like that. And yeah, I think that's kind of it. Yeah, I don't even know if this one's magical. I just feel like it seems a little whimsical. So, actually, do I want to read this one? I don't know. Anyway, that's The Wishing Game. The next is the other one that I'm like, does this even have magical elements? But whatever. A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Liang. This is about a beautiful woman. An epic novel steeped in myth about womanhood, war, sacrifice, and love against all odds as the fate of two kingdoms hangs in a delicate balance. She's presented with a rare opportunity to use her beauty as a weapon, one that could topple the rival neighboring kingdom of Wu, improve the lives of her people, and avenge her sister's murder. All she has to do is infiltrate the enemy palace as a spy, seduce their immoral king, and weaken them from within. So I guess it's about a beautiful spy. What more could you want? That's a song to drown rivers. Even though it's not fantasy, I don't think it's still mythical, which in my head, they're almost the same thing. So that's why it's on that shelf. And then lastly, I have A Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McCona- McConaughey. McConaughey. This is about a woman that washes up on a shore at a remote island, and a family lives there. And oh, Shearwater, a tiny island not far from Antarctica, home to the world's largest seed bank. Shearwater was once full of researchers, but with sea levels rising, the salts are now its final inhabitants. So this family are their final inhabitants. Yeah, and then a woman washes ashore, and then they get into some antics. So once again, so number one would be this the Teller of Small Fortunes. Number two is The Wishing Game. Number three is A Song to Drown Rivers. And number four is Wild Dark Shore. I picked Wild Dark Shore. If anybody's watching, they'll probably be happy about that because this was a very, very popular book last year. So, okay, excited to read that one. I've had it since last year. And then lastly, I have a few classics on my list. I always usually have a classic on my list just to get through all of mine. These ones are kind of more, some of them. Actually, I'm going to hold my tongue. These are just some classics that were kind of giving spring vibes to me. So, and then there are going to be two that I'm going to count as one because they're both really short and by the same author. So you'll see. Anyway, the first one is Franny and Zoe, which is by J.D. Salinger. This I did not realize was two essays put into one, but it does follow two kids of the same family. Franny, it follows the first essay, I think, is of, or I guess short story, not essay, is Franny, and she is a college student, and she's like kind of having this existential crisis and like mental health moment. You follow her and her perspective for the first half, and then the second half is her brother Zoe, who I think the second story is a conversation between the two of them, and Zoe is trying to like manage her mental health issues and her existential crisis that she's having. So that's Franny and Zoe. The next two are the two that I want to combine. They're both by Virginia Woolf. I have first A Room of One's Own, which is, I think, an essay. Yes. About if Shakespeare had a sister equal to Shakespeare in talent and equal in genius, but whose legacy is radically different. And it's just kind of about, it's Virginia Woolf writing about how women, it says, her message is a simple one. Women must have a steady income and a room of their own in order to have the freedom to create. Very appropriate for Women's History Month. So I might read this anyway, but it's going on this list. And then I have Mrs. Dalloway, which follows two characters. The first, I'm assuming, is Mrs. Dalloway. Yes, Clarissa Dalloway. I think she's like a rich girl. She's going out on the town. She's having a party. And then the second character is Septimus Smith, who has PTSD following World War One, and it follows a day in their life as it increasingly gets interwoven, or their stories interweave with each other throughout the day. So that's Mrs. Dalloway. It's a stream of consciousness. I've heard that this isn't very hard or easy to read. Oh, and also during the 1918 flu pandemic. Cool. Joining past, present, and future and recording impression by impression, minute by minute, the feel of life itself. So that's Virginia Woolf. Next I have Lolita, because this has been on my list for a while. If you don't know, Lolita by Nabokov is about a man that is in love with a child. I just feel like this is a reference in so many different things that I want to read it, and I've had it for a very long time. My sister read it. I can't remember what she said, but that is on my list. So, and then the next are two children's books. One is The Secret Garden, which is about a little girl who is an orphan. Yes, who finds a secret magical garden. It takes place in the Yorkshire Moors, which is very Wuthering Heights. I mean, that's literally where they take place. So I feel like it's kind of relevant right now. And plus, gardens like March, it's starting to be very flowery outside. So that's on my list. And then finally, I have Heidi by Joanna Spyri, which this is about another orphan, maybe, who lives in the Swiss Alps. And then she gets sent to the city to be a companion for another little girl, and it's about her missing the Alps and nature and blah blah blah, all that stuff. I did not realize I had this book for this long, but I have had it for a very long time, probably like 20 years, considering that is how I wrote my name in it. And I don't know what 5B is in reference to. I'm sure some sort of classroom, maybe like my fourth or fifth grade classroom. That doesn't sound right. I think they were just numbers. I don't know what 5B is a reference to, but it definitely was about something at school. Okay, so those are all the classics. Okay, so let me do a random number generator the way that they are now. Franny and Zoe is first, and then the two Wolf novels are number two. Lolita is three, The Secret Garden is four, and Heidi is five. Oh, oops. Three. It chose Lolita. Okay, we're gonna read Lolita this month. I'm a little nervous. I don't know. I'm also going to pull out a room of one's own because it's not very long. That's some dense text. I'm just going to put it in there. If I don't get to it, I don't get to it. It's okay. I do have some other things on my TBR. First, because this is so March, how could I not include it? Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle. This is about, I think like a mass extinction event. Like a lot of people die in one day, or 8 million people were killed in a single day. All of them dying in improbable, bizarre ways, strangled by balloon ropes, torn apart by exploding manhole covers. For some reason, I thought like more than half the planet died, but 8 million people is a lot of people, but it's also not that many people in the grand scheme of things. I guess in one day that would be a lot of people, but like, you know what I mean? Anyway, compared to, I thought there was a fucking apocalypse going on. And then, anyway, I think this woman works in statistics, and then maybe this like detective comes to find her, and he's like, "This casino is way too lucky," and I think it has to do something, or has something to do with the mass extinction event, or the low probability event. Um, and so they set off to find out what that's about. So that's on my list. And then at the end of the month, I want to do a week where I read all of the aardvark and the book of the month books that I've gotten this year, or as many as I can read at once. And so, just really quickly, the ones that I've gotten so far this year, or received so far this year. What did I order? I ordered Kin from Book of the Month, and then I ordered the Dark Academia one from Aardvark. I can't remember what it was. I'll look it up. So quickly, I have Burn Down Master's House by Clay Kane. This is, I think this is, okay, unveils ferocious stories of revolt against chattel slavery in the 19th century American South. These stories, largely erased or forgotten, are now unearthed and brought vividly to life. I think this is just about a group of different slaves who rebel in their own ways, some like more obviously, some in less obvious ways. And yeah, I meant to read this last month and clearly didn't get to it, but I really want to read it. So this is on my list. We're going right there. This was my pick from January, The List of Suspicious Things. I think this is like a cozy mystery novel, which sounds really fun, and I want to get to it. It's just kind of long. Oh my god, another Yorkshire book, like actually Yorkshire, England. There seems to be a theme. Oh, there's disappearing women, and nobody knows who it is. I wonder if this is like a Jack the Ripper type of story. Okay. But it's about two children that are solving it, which seems kind of like fun. And then finally, Canticle, which I did get in December of last year, but this is two sisters again, and it looks really good, so I want to read it. This follows a spirited young woman's exploration of faith, agency, and love in 13th century Bruges. Wait, I thought that this was about two women, but it's about a woman. Grounded in the little-told stories of medieval women, mystics, saints, anchoresses, and beguines, what the fuck, and introducing a major new talent, Canticle is a luminous work of historical fiction, vividly evoking a world on the verge of transformation. Ooh, finding shelter among the Beguines, I will have to learn how to pronounce that. A fiercely independent community of religious women who refuse to answer to the church. See, that sounds fucking interesting. I want to read that really bad. You're going on the list. The last book that I ordered in March is Don't Know. Why would they tell me? Like, why would they tell me in the email what I ordered when they could just keep it a secret? Ooh, I got Spoiled Milk. Oh my god, that cover's so cool. Honestly, I was between that and The Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan, but I went with Spoiled Milk by Avery Curran because of the cover. So I know that's selfish, but that's what I chose. I've also heard that Whidbey is good or going to be good, but it just wasn't really calling to me in the way that Spoiled Milk and The Red Winter were in the moment. So yeah. Ooh, I'm excited for that one. Okay, so this is everything that I want to read in March. I'm not going to get to all of it, but well, because I'm also reading Scythe and One Nation Under Guns right now, but they're my hopefuls. They all seem really good. I'm actually really excited for this. And normally I make a list that's like 15 books long, so this doesn't feel doable, but it feels manageable. You know what I mean? Oh my god, I feel like excited now that I figured this out. Yeah, I also have friends coming into town 2 weekends in a row this month, so even lower expectations for my abilities to read all of this, but maybe I'll get like really excited and listen to some audiobooks or something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get ready for my dinner that's in a couple hours, but at least we got this done. I'm excited about that, and I will talk to you guys in a moment. Hi, it's Saturday afternoon. I just went to I didn't go anywhere. This morning I went on a walk, which I kind of had to sprint home because it started raining. It's kind of like off and on raining today and yesterday. And then when I got home, I listened to some podcasts, and did my bullet journal. So that next week, or not next week, tomorrow, instead of making it and doing my weekly reset, which is becoming a little bit more extensive, I can just stick with the weekly reset. And I have to clean tomorrow. I'm staring at my floors right now. If you live in an older apartment, the dust is insane. Like, I'm sure there's something behind me that's like just overwhelmingly dusty. There are dust bunnies all over my fucking apartment. But now I just feel like reading. And I kind of wanted to edit today, but maybe I'll just edit some short form stuff and then do a lot of long form editing tomorrow, maybe. Because I also want to have a movie night and watch Sinners, but then I'm also making like a decent dinner. And it's 2:30. It's almost 3, so like we're running out of daylight. It was because I went on like a 2-hour long walk today with my friend. We went to a new coffee shop, Sacred, in Chicago. It's not that far away from me. I liked they made a good coffee. I got my first iced coffee of the season because it's like 65 out today. It's supposed to be 71 on Monday. That's beautiful. And so anyway, yeah. I guess I'll edit short form content. I'm gonna need my phone for that, so you won't be seeing me. And right now, I'm just gonna read. That's my vibe. I don't know how long. Maybe until like 4:30. That sounds like a good plan. And then I can maybe edit for an hour and start cooking dinner at 5:30. I like that idea. That sounds like a good idea. That sounds genius, actually. Okay, so good catching up. I'm still, oh, how far am I into this? I have like gotten decently far into Scythe. I like keep forgetting to talk about the books that I'm reading because I feel like this is such like a reset moment for me. It's like an organization week, you know? I am on page 193, and there was a plot twist, kind of, yeah, I guess. And now I'm more interested. I'm more interested than I was before. I don't know if we're gonna get one of the characters' perspectives anymore, which I'm kind of like bummer, womp womp, but I'm excited to see how the two new mentor mentee, like that new dynamic, how that's gonna go. So I'm gonna continue reading that, and then I haven't really gotten any further in One Nation Under Guns, but I think I only have 3 chapters left, so I'll probably read a chapter or two of this, depending on how long chapter 8. Wait, I think there's only 9 chapters. Should I just finish it? Oh, I'm just gonna finish this. There's chapter 8 and then the postscript. Yeah, I'm just gonna finish this. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'll switch to side. Long time no talk. It is like late Sunday afternoon. I got a lot of B-roll today. I deep cleaned my entire apartment. It took like 3 hours, and that was my morning. And now it feels so good in here. I hadn't like done the floors in like over a month. I hadn't dusted in a really long time. I think I already said this, but if you live in an older apartment, like you should have seen that Swiffer duster. Oh my God, it was vile. But it's all up now, and the window's open, and the spring breeze is coming in, and it's still 69 degrees in here, even though it's a little chillier outside. And then I was in my bullet journal, wherever the fuck that is, and I will admit that I was planning on editing this afternoon, but then I got caught up listening to the spring playlist from this girl's Substack. I'll link it below. Um, and I did what I used to do in my bullet journal, which I drew bits of my week. I included like old junk journaling type cutouts, cards, a postcard that I had for a while and had set aside to put in it. So I just like stuck it in there and kind of drew around it and watercolored a little bit, which was really fun. And then I started to do my weekly reset, but I decided to do it from my couch. I think it's like 4:30. I think for the next hour, hour and a half, I'm going to watch some YouTube videos, something easy in the background, and then start making dinner. It's daylight saving, so I did lose an hour of sleep, but it's going to be dark a lot later today, or not dark, it's going to be light out a lot later today until like almost 7. So I'm really excited for that. And it's International Women's Day, so happy International Women's Day if you're a woman or you like no, women only, including trans women, by the way. By the way, yeah, happy International Women's Day. Cool beans. Was there anything else I wanted to say? No. Minimal goals for this week because my friend is coming in town on Thursday and it's St. Patrick's Day this weekend. So my week is basically going to be getting ready for her to come, doing laundry, things like that. I have to go meet a dog for Rover, and then tomorrow is going to be like 70 out. So I'm going to Rinaldi's in Lincoln Park, I think, to sit on their patio. I'm going to do a little patio sit, and if it's not there, it'll be elsewhere with my friend. So Not a lot of like goals or anything for this week. I want to go on a run tomorrow if I can, if I'm brave enough. I'm going to be brave enough. I'm just going to fucking do it. And it might be awful and I might feel really uncomfortable doing it, but I'm going to do it because I'm brave like that. I might do yoga on Tuesday, things like that, like whatever. That's like, those are literally my goals. Oh, last night I can start a crochet project. Just start it, but don't have to finish it. Last night I watched Marie Antoinette. What a fun movie. I mean, it's like sad by the end, obviously. Spoiler alert, Marie Antoinette is killed by the people, but it was so fun. The colors. That's like well, not that Marie Antoinette is a fictional story, but that is a sort of like retelling where the director took liberties, but the liberties are good and have purpose and still stay true to the foundation of the original story in a way. Emerald Fennel, I'm looking at you. Yeah. Okay, in terms of reading, I'm over halfway through Scythe. I was really hoping I would finish it today, but I do not think that's going to happen. I don't know. We'll see how far I get to it later today because after dinner, immediately shower, everything shower, in bed, reading. Hopefully by like 8 o'clock. I am on page 250 out of like 400. I'm not reading 200 pages tonight. That's just not happening. Yeah, I basically did my bullet journal instead of this, which again, I'm not mad at, so whatever. Where are we in this book? What am I thinking? When I was reading this last night, I was like literally falling asleep. So I don't even know what I read. There's just an interesting. Do I care about this book? Like, yeah, I'm having fun with it. It's really like simple. Yeah. I don't know what to say about this. I literally don't know what to say. I don't dislike it, but now I'm feeling like I'm realizing that maybe I don't love it. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It's a long book. We're kind of plateauing. And I hate I don't like where one of the character lines is going. I don't really care to read about overtly selfish people at the moment. Selfish men specifically. So and like sociopathic men. It's very overt. I don't know if I care about it. My book club is Tuesday. I gotta finish it before then. So that's the vibe. That's just the vibe. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna end this because I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. And I'll talk to you later today, probably when I'm making dinner. I was just editing this vlog. It's Wednesday, the Wednesday following. And I never signed off or anything. I think I didn't want to. I had like 30 pages left of Scythe, and I was like, I might as well just finish it and then end it. And then days happened and whatever. I did finish Scythe on Monday. I'm a little interested in the rest of the series, maybe not the biggest priority on my list. It got a 3.5. I do think that there were some flaws with character. I don't want to say character development because it wasn't them growing throughout the story. It was like literally the characters developed in the beginning. Like, I feel like at the end, I don't know, like I just felt like the romance wasn't really fleshed out very well. It was a lot of telling and not showing, and a lot of during my book club, people were comparing it to Katniss and Peeta, but I was like, at least Katniss and Peeta, like maybe you see a similar dynamic, but they still had that cave scene, you know? Like we never really got anything similar to that in this book. There was nothing that was showing me that they actually liked each other. And then everybody was like, well, they're two 17-year-olds in like enclosed spaces. Like, of course, they're going to start liking each other. And I'm like, yeah, but like, you could still show it instead of just implying that I would assume that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just felt like there were some underdeveloped parts of this book that made it not 5 stars for me or really above a 4 at all. And I kind of felt like the end of it was like I could see how it would go into another book, but it didn't seem like it would go in. I don't know, it just felt like it would be like a whole new story almost. Like if I read it, I don't think that it would be similar to this, but I don't know. People in my book club have read all three of them and said that the series gets better and it's good. So maybe I'll check it out one day. Again, it's not on my like priority to-do list, but whatever. I just I just feel like there are better dystopian YA novels out there. This one's not bad though. There were really interesting discussions last night. Last night was my book club, on like mortality and morality and what would you choose to do in similar situations to the characters. And so I appreciate that out of this book. I can see where that is valuable, but yeah, I just felt like it was it left me wanting, I guess I'll say. And that's my review on Scythe. I hope you guys had a very lovely week. This is where it ends. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace and love.